さんこんにちは、パリスです。今日は私の日本語の勉強の話を話します。So today I'm going to be telling you guys how I learned Japanese. I've been getting this question so often. Oh, I want to learn Japanese, but I don't know where to start.
What did you use to learn Japanese? Like,
what did you use? I've been getting it for a long time, but I never made a video because I wanted to kind of get to a point where I felt like my Japanese was just like good enough. Or not like good enough, but I mean to the point where I got to a point where I want it to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but I made a list of the materials that I use to learn Japanese. It basically just starts in the order that I learned it. So the very first time that I decided like, hey, I want to learn Japanese, I didn't know that I was like serious. Stop eating that. I just kind of went online and I was like, oh, how to learn Japanese, and I just wanted to like look it up and see what it was about. So I googled how to learn Japanese and the first thing that came up was Busuu.com. I went on Busuu, just made an account, and it just taught me the basics. A few like words like Ohayo gozaimasu and Konbanwa, konnichiwa, o genki desu ka? And just things like that. After using Busuu, I was like, oh my god, like I can actually remember some of this stuff, and it really motivated me. So I would write down like some of the vocab and stuff from Busuu, and I was like, okay, like this is actually going good. At this point, I still didn't know that I was going to like learn Japanese. I just kind of thought to myself, you know, this is fun, and if it's not that hard, I might as well do it. And for me, it wasn't that hard. I'm not saying Busuu is the best. I wouldn't use it now, like at all. I've used so many apps that are a lot better, but it wasn't that bad for a beginner app. If you guys have seen my last video that I just made, the hiragana and katakana video, that was the next thing I did, because first I learned like a few vocab words, just like simple ones, not too much, because it's better to start learning the vocab words with hiragana and katakana. But yeah, so I started learning the hiragana and katakana, and you guys can watch that video if you want to know how I learned both of them. After that, I went into the App Store on my iPhone and I just started searching up all the apps that I could find that were for learning Japanese. The first app that I ended up downloading was MindSnacks, and to this day MindSnacks is still one of my favorite apps. It's a really good app for learning vocab. You can play like fun games, and I felt like a little toddler playing these games, but literally like if I was just like at the doctor's office like waiting, or if I was waiting to get my hair done or anything, I would just like start playing these games, and it actually like really helped, because I wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm learning this language. I was just thinking like, oh, this is a fun game to play. So I love MindSnacks, and it gives you 2 lessons free, I believe, and then after that you have to pay, but it's only $5 like total. So I mean, it's learning a language. I think $5 is not even that much, because you can learn, I think, about 850 different vocab words. If you want to be able to remember your like vocab and sentences and everything, and you want to have something to reference, write it in here. And I actually also like would fold my pages so that I could try to guess what each one was. Okay, so the next app that I got was, oh, I got the hiragana and katakana apps that I also mentioned in my last video, and then I also downloaded the Kanji one, and then, oh my god, yeah, okay, so the next app that I got was HelloTalk, and HelloTalk is so good. I'm gonna make another video about, specifically about apps, so I can really like get into it, but HelloTalk was really good because you can talk to people from Japan. It's like a language exchange app. So I recommend you do this yourself. Go into the App Store, download like all the learning Japanese apps that you can find, and try them all out, and then find the ones that work for you, because I'm just letting you guys know the ones that worked for me. I did use a lot of other ones, but some of them I didn't like, so I only might have used them for like a week and then I deleted them.
oh my gosh, okay, so the next app is like...
It's like my favorite app. It is the best. Like, I'm gonna have to make a whole video about this app because it's on point. Like, I love it. So this next app is called Mirai Japanese, and it is the best Japanese app, I think, because it taught me how to say like my first sentence in Japanese. It really made it so easy to understand the grammar and the verbs and everything, and how to make a sentence, because when I was in French, I took French back in high school, and I swear I took French 1, 2, did I take 3? I think I took French 1, 2, and 3. And literally all the way to the end of 3, I still could never build a sentence, like ever. Like the only sentence I could say is like, my name is Paris, but like I could never say like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store, then I'm gonna go here, then I'm gonna go there. So it was really great with this app that right when I got the app, I learned how to make a sentence within like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, like I actually know the formula and I'll never be confused because they really explained it. So Mirai Japanese is so amazing for syntax, learning how to build sentences, and I feel like that is the most important thing about languages, is learning how to build a sentence, because you don't want to just know all this random vocab and then you have no way to like put it in a sentence. Highly, 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 highly recommend Mirai Japanese. It's my #1 favorite iPhone app, and you can just get it. Help yourself get it. Okay, so the next thing that I did to learn Japanese, I enrolled in Japanese 1, and I actually enrolled in it because it was a requirement. Well, it wasn't a requirement, but it was like I could use it to fulfill a requirement, and because it's like a humanities class. So I was like, okay, I'll just take Japanese 1 to see how it is, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll take 2 also because I needed 2 credits for that specific category. And yeah, so I took it and I like loved it. Like the first like 2 months was literally review for me because I had studied so much from the apps that I learned, and I had already learned hiragana and katakana by myself. So like I was just like soaring in that class. Like I was getting like 100% on almost everything, or at least an A on everything. So when I took Japanese at my college, we were required to get these 2 books, which is Genki 1 and the workbook. These books are honestly like really awesome. I normally don't like school textbooks and I feel like I can never learn from them. But with Genki, like I could always read it before class and understand literally what was going on. I could basically teach myself the class by reading the book. And I am not a reader like. In Japanese 3 and 4, we had to get the part 2, which is Genki 2 and the workbook. So yeah, definitely recommend these. And I also really like the class because I'm really competitive with stuff that I like, so it made me really competitive. And some of my friends were actually Japanese, like native, or not native, Japanese American, and they spoke Japanese at home, and sometimes I'd do better than them like on the test, and I'd be like, The difference is that some of the Japanese they learned was like slang, whereas I was learning it for the first time and I only learned the proper way because I don't really know that much slang. So yeah, the next thing that I did was I would talk to Japanese people who came into my job, and some people might be asking like, how do you know they're Japanese? Like, that's racist, like don't talk to people, blah. But the thing is like I would never assume anyone's Japanese. Like I don't look at them like, oh, you're Japanese. What I would do is I would be folding clothes because I worked at Abercrombie. I still kind of work there, but I haven't worked in a while. And I would be folding clothes and then I'd hear people like, ah, kawaii ne, oh my gosh, sore wa kawaii. And then I would turn around and I'd be like, okay, they're obviously Japanese because I can understand them and like I can hear them. So I'd just be like, konnichiwa, watashi wa sukoshi nihongo ga hanashimasu. And they'd be like, oh, sugoi, oh my gosh, jouzu, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, oh, arigatou gozaimasu. People have been so nice and they've always been like, ganbatte, like do your best, like your Japanese is so good, your pronunciation is so nice. I definitely would talk to as many people as I could in person, on Hello Talk. Even my friends that are Japanese, I would like text them and ask them questions and ask them like, is it okay if I ask you questions? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Oh yeah, okay, one more thing. So when I would meet Japanese people in Abercrombie, I would meet a variety of different people. Actually, I met them at my other job at American Apparel too, so it didn't even really matter where I was. But when I did meet them, if we like got along well and it like wasn't awkward, sometimes they would ask me for my line or if I had a line, because like asking for a phone number is kind of weird. But line chat is like really good if you want to like connect with people that you might not know like that well, but you still want to talk to them. So they'd be like, oh my god, can you teach me English? And I'd be like, yeah, dude, like that's awesome. Can you teach me Japanese? So I have a bunch of like friends online that I would talk to, and yeah, so that was a good way to connect with people if I did happen to meet someone in Japanese that was Japanese. And the next thing I did use was Mango Japanese Online. It's actually free, which is a really good plus, and all you have to do is have like a library card. My favorite apps are probably Mirai, Mindstacks, and Mango. They also are them. It's Mirai, Mindstacks, and Mango. Those are my 3 favorite apps. And the next thing is I watched anime, Japanese dramas, and basically anything in Japanese. Immerse yourself like as if you were in Japan. Like you obviously can't be in Japan and America, but I mean you can do as many things as possible to have it available to you like at all times. I do have a Japanese Instagram. It's all in Japanese, and then I have a Tumblr that's my study Japanese Tumblr. I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to learn Japanese, but I don't know where to start. But there's tons of places to start, especially that don't cost that much money. I think from all the things that I've talked about, just take what you want from it. And yeah, that's how I learned Japanese. I think the most important things were taking the classes, mirai, mindsex, mango, talking to people in Japanese. Like, speak as much as you can and listen as much as you can and try to understand it. So yeah, I think that's it. Well, good luck studying Japanese. I wish you guys the best. Ganbatte! Oh yeah, and also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see next. I want to make a lot more Japanese videos, so definitely let me know. Stop. Stop. Oh. Trixie! What are you barking at? Stop barking at the wall. I made a list of Japanese... Take 3. And basically... Okay, Trixie, if you bark one more time, I'm gonna go crazy. Stop! The next thing... Whew. She's like a crazy psycho.